ready? It's all good. We ready? Yes. So I'm going to start. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I don't know if you noticed the lid that Julie's wearing, but it happens to be my book, the cover of my book. I'm actually wearing the same one. Self-promotion, man. And this book, this cover was taken at a bar called Harry's Corner. If you watch the first 3 minutes of the James Bond movie Live and Let Die, they film it outside of Harry's Corner. Well, the reason why I'm telling you this is in order to get this shot, I had to get into the bar. I was 86th in the fall, unjustly, I might add. So I work with a photographer. Her name is Carrie DeMay, and she lives right down the corner. And we said, well, you know, she's done my last few book covers, and we had this idea. And she said, well, let's go to Harry's Corner. And I said, great idea. Well, you know. So she says, you know, look, it's been a few months, don't worry about it. They probably won't remember you. So I wanted to be inconspicuous, and we walked in with 3 blow-up dolls in the afternoon. And a lot of the ghost tour companies come through, and there we were. And as luck would have it, the bartender did not remember me, or at least he allowed me back in because all the tourists started getting pictures with all the Judys, because that's all 3 of their names, is Judy, Judy, and Judy. So, check it out if you like. It's over there. Julie's book, Lindsay's book, everybody. Here we go. Perspective. It was the last time you would stay over, ever. And I wasn't sad about it. We agreed to say it was not you, and it was not me. But really, we know deep down that the next time we're at the bar telling our story, one of us will say it was most definitely you. Gifts. We have a Mardi Gras crew down there called the Crew of the Bastard Sons of Raoul Duke. And next year is our 20th anniversary. In fact, some of y'all have been part of that crew who are here, who come down there. This is one of our founding members, Tobe Martin. Gifts. The son of a bitch left me broke and blacked out with a stripper's name written in black Sharpie on my forearm. 3 bright orange traffic cones in my bedroom and a 2-day hangover. He is the best friend ever. How many of y'all here are part of the Mile High Club? This poem is not about that. I was just curious. Mile High Club. The stewardess gave me her number as the plane was taking off. I smiled and thought, if this plane goes down, our first date would be quick, but definitely a sure thing. Lukenbach, Texas. I have reached the point of becoming a goddamn country music cliche. I sit alone in a dirty bar in ripped jeans, trucker hat, light wallet, surrounded by old torn posters, faded chalkboard, blinking half neons, a dusty bottle of root beer schnapps not touched since '78. Busted dreams, drinking cheap beer and strong shots, listening to Waylon Jennings sing about Willie and the boys, and I know all the words. These kinds of situations make a person reflective. I realize my life contains most of the classic elements: wrecked trucks by love's long lost, stranded in the rain without bus fare and no way home, thrown in jail 3 times for things I was completely guilty of. been cheated out of my money and my heart, left for other men, and if I'm being honest, the occasional woman too. Had all the light bulbs in my house methodically busted out, one by one by one. Had a goddamn shotgun pointed in my face, and when she said it was loaded, I took her word for it. But I don't ride horses or wear a giant bucking bronco belt buckle or even own a dog. Yet here I sit at the far end of the bar with an open tab, living it up, right in the next chorus, just me, Waylon, Willie, and the boys. Poetry suckers, we all are. I am proofreading her book of poems, which will be published this year, and smiling at all the idiot men who will read it while seriously believing that the poems in the book are all about them. But I know who they're really about. At least that's what I tell myself. All right, for those who write poetry, useful poetry. I read the poet's new book and saw this line, waiting for something, hoping for anything. It is the type of brilliant phrase that will stick with people when they read it on buses and trains, if people still used buses and trains. But I'm confident that this book will be read in airports by people going to see other people or those getting away from everyone. It will have significance during breakups and given as gifts to impress. It will be quoted at weddings and funerals. Lines will be stolen by those who call themselves poets. It will be opened over and over again and again, and it will be opened only once and placed on a shelf with other books with crisp spines and unstained pages. Don't take that personally. Pages will also get covered in gin and tonics, baby food, spaghetti sauce, birthday cake, dark chocolate, red wine, and white Russians. Other times, your book will solve problems, such as an unbalanced pool table or crooked washing machines. Don't take that part personally either. It may not be what you had hoped for, but just remember, poetry is supposed to be useful. Lindsay comes to town as often as possible, just visiting. We fall in love every time she comes to town, which isn't often, just enough to hold hands for the first time once again. Smile and recognize where we belong. The trips are always too short and the clock ticks too loud. Each meeting we always agree to share everything, our words, feelings, depth of emotion, food, beers, bodies, what ifs, hopes, realities, to leave nothing untouched. However, the moment she is gone, 1,000 unsaid words and phrases appear in desperation, fearful that they'll never be heard. No forward plans are ever made, only a whisper of, "I will return." When she drives away before the sun rises, I am devastated again, not able to take watching her fade into a day I will not be a part of. So I go back to sleep to dream a different ending. The game. There she was, across the bar. I had my drink, she had hers. I liked her glasses and the Mardi Gras headpiece she wore. When I would look up in her direction, she would be looking my way. Even from this distance, I could make out a smile. So I smiled back, sipped my drink, and pretended to examine my phone for important messages. Then casually look up. And there she would be, sipping her drink and looking my way every time. We played this game over the course of a few drinks. It felt like the opening scene of a movie. Then she walked towards me and I planned my opening line. When she was right in front of my table, her head began to lift like a plane taking flight and said, "Excuse me, I just wanted to get a closer look. I've been watching the game all night." At that moment, I became painfully aware of the 72-inch TV above my head. I thought, it's time to retire from this sport. Occasionally, I dip into a bar. This was one of them times. Saints of the Neons. It matters not what bar, any town, anywhere. It is where us serious drinkers talk shit and gossip, backslap and bullshit, yet hold one another tight when the time is necessary. And if 2 weekends pass, we wonder where you've been. We've broken up in front of the beer taps and busted our faces at happy hour defending someone's honor. We have seen kids grow up and marriages grow old, lives born and lights go out. We've heard every jukebox tune 1,000 times, sometimes in one sitting. We have over-tipped to be overserved, have woken up with the hair of the dog and passed out when the sun shows its face. We've done shots and been shot down, downed pints and puked in the garbage cans. Embarrassed and absolved ourselves over Jaeger bombs and Bloody Marys. Here we are equally lost, equally broke, equally off, but we look almost innocent under the neons. We spend hungover holidays on barstool thrones where liquor bottles stand like gods under Christmas lights, providing us gifts we didn't know we needed. Even though Sunday mornings can be brutal, without a hint of redemption, we crawl back to the neons, full of confessions and contrition, where we never have to order. The bartender simply has it waiting with a beer back of forgiveness, and that feels better than church to saints like us. Deja vu. She spun the wheel, turning fast into a Walgreens parking lot, slamming the brakes hard for a woman on crutches with a broken leg, slowly hobbling across the sidewalk. She says, "Don't want to hit that woman on crutches." I say, "Why not? Looks like she's been through this before." Bedtime story. In the middle of the night or just before sleep takes hold, she gets close, puts her hand on my chest, leans into me, and says it to me, a barely awake whispered declaration, "I love you." She repeats this night after night, then falls into her dreams until morning arrives, and she repeats it again as if saying it for the first time before asking how I've slept. Though I've been awake and smiling all night, I tell her, best sleep ever. That one didn't happen in a bar. One of the sweetest and most wonderful things about this trip is getting to see Bill again. So this one's for Bill. Yeah, go ahead. You can give him. Make it. Jesus Christ. It's a good thing we got this fucking recorded. Oh, fuck. Oh, is he coming back? Pour my heart out. Trying to make you a star. Look up and there's an empty seat, but I guess that's how Hollywood rolls. Stacking the deck. I noticed that at the end of our conversation, he always says, "Love ya." This is a fairly recent addition to our talks. He's much older than I am, and we have known each other for over 20 years now. I am a writer, he is a writer. It is the way it sounds that catches me off guard, even now. He proclaims it with honesty, conviction, and clarity. No jokes, no curse words hiding it, no hesitation, no bullshit, just like him. It feels like something he wants to just slip into conversation. No need to make a big deal of it. Truth be told, the phrase makes me feel good, and I hope it makes him feel even better. So I roll with it and always reply, I love you too. It is an all too rare moment between men with the type of scars he and I have, a connection. However, each time he says it, I can't help but wonder how or why he added this endearment and affection. What prompted this? Why is he saying it now? Perhaps it's his age, the slowing down he speaks about. He even wrote an entire book about growing old. I don't know if I'll ever find out, but what keeps coming to mind is his request that I give the eulogy at his wake. I know he admires honesty and always says he's unafraid of the truth, but I think perhaps this is his way of stacking the deck in hopes that I'll be honest, but not too honest when the time comes. I should have just gotten you a card. In the weeks leading up to her birthday, I paid close attention, stealthily inquired, wrote down ideas of what she may want. Eventually, I made surprise plans, fun Amazon orders, and set up a big, bright bouquet to be delivered the day of. The night before her birthday, she called me, told me she found someone new, and that is what she wanted. The one thing I hadn't thought of. Oh, no, it's funny. It's all right. Yeah, nothing. It wasn't anything serious. It's okay. But I appreciate your tenderness. A New Orleans compliment. I was trying to be clever, while she was simply being thoughtful. She said she describes me to her friends as kind and genuinely happy. Something about that didn't quite cover it for me, so I smiled confidently and said, "Don't forget ruggedly handsome." She laughed, touched my cheek, and reminded me, "I've seen you full of glitter in rainbow tutus, red spaghetti-strap dresses, wrapped in feather boas, always with a huge smile on a disturbingly regular basis. So you see how it would be difficult to describe you that way." And I smiled again, feeling oh so pretty. Slut shaming. It was a wild one, that much I know. Now, first light of morning, unclear how we arrived in these unfamiliar surroundings. Clear on what happened, though. Clear still on the consequences that await. Trying to be quiet, I say out loud, "You fucking slut," as I wash my face, avoiding the mirror. Now, in a set list, this is what we call a horrible transition. This one, Little Woman for Selena. So anyway, it was written a long time ago. But Selena, I've had the best time with her. And she got to listen to a podcast interview that I did this week and gave me the best assessment out of anybody. So, Little Woman. There she is, 1 year old, tearing the hearts off the Valentine I gave to her mom. A true heartbreaker from the very start. All right, a couple more. Those who know me know I adore my birthday, and it is coming up. So last year I had a great big party, and I will again this year. Special occasion. My birthday has arrived again. Cards and packages received in the mail, calls and texts from close and far, social media messages from friends and people I don't know and will never meet. There will be no cake because I don't like cake, but there will be something with a candle in it because I like candles. But cannot even stand to watch those go out anymore. I prefer long days to the long nights that send another day into the past. I don't like to see the end of anything. Perhaps I've reached the point where calendars are the enemy and I purposefully do not wear a watch. Today, everyone wants to know which once a year something I will do just because it's your birthday today. It's your special day. The one day you get a fancy, expensive dinner, cheat on your diet with a decadent dessert, do absolutely no chores. Maybe your coworkers put up a banner in the break room, or your partner puts on a sexy outfit, one that slips off easily. Maybe you get a tease and dance. And if a candle wish comes true, a birthday blowjob or birthday sex, I do not need those extras today. For the first time in a long time, I'm not waking up alone on this birthday morning, and that is a gift. So, in looking to the day ahead, I'll choose to take it easy. Move like the Mississippi River, go where the currents take me, get some Vietnamese food, do the dishes, float in the pool. Go down to the French Quarter, find live music just right for the moment. Order my same drinks. But I suppose if some extras were offered, I will accept because it is, after all, my special day. True meaning. Call it inspiration or competition. But after reading an exceptional line of poetry that she wrote, I responded with a line of my own. She texted back, "This is so good." Personally, I thought it sounded too poety, like I tried way too hard to say something true and significant. Though if I were an honest poet and wrote what I meant, my line to her would have simply said, "I'm in love." The imposter, so this is a good transition, yeah. The imposter, the bartender with 1950s dress and the martini glass tattoo, complete with olive on her right forearm, was changing out a keg when, without looking, she turned around my way while saying, "Hey, Allison, did you?" I replied, and she said, looked up, she looked up, well, let me start again. The imposter, yeah. Oh my. The imposter, the bartender with 1950s dress and the martini glass tattoo, complete with olive on the right forearm, was changing out a keg when, without looking, she turned around my way while saying, "Hey, Allison." At that moment, she looked up. "Oh, you're not Allison." I replied, "No, I haven't been Allison for quite a while." She laughed and dropped the bottle opener in her hand. When the actual Allison showed back up, the bartender said, "Allison, I had something to say to you, but I forgot." I laughed, but Allison didn't get it and walked away again. Later, when the bartender brought me another drink, she said, "You look familiar." I replied, "Yes, we met a bit ago when I was Allison." She laughed again, bought me a drink, and I laughed too, lifted the glass and toasted my natural girlish charm. All right, two more. Alpha Male 2024. A group of 12 bros just off the swamp tour come out the bar, yelling and backslapping. They stand in the sun by the bayou, all tough, high-fiving, talking about bitches and how they're gonna tear Bourbon Street up, dog. The toughest of them shout at the gator in the water about how they could take that motherfucker. The gator's far out of reach and unimpressed, while the others laugh and punch each other in their barbed wire tattooed arms, wearing "Freedom Isn't Free" and MAGA hats, while sipping their passion fruit high noons. All right, last one. Again, thank you to Julie, thank you to Bill, thank you to Lindsay, thank you for y'all for being here. Come out with us for some drinks after. Do you know that feeling? Do you know that feeling when a relationship reaches a point where you just smile at the ease and comfort of it all? When conversations come easily and you talk all the time about the weather, the news of the day, the state of the country, places to go and see. what to add to grocery lists, books you are reading, or dumb jokes you just tell each other that aren't necessarily funny, but you laugh anyway because you just appreciate the effort. You find the ways in which you compliment one another, like one is better at math or spelling and the other plays the perfect music while cooking. That is not to say there are no challenging times or breakdowns in communication where you can go a day or two without being able to speak to each other. I've heard that in every relationship there are times when you have to simply take a break and recharge. But that's where the reliability and comfort comes in. They say it takes time to get to that point. However, they also say it happens instantly. And this is how my latest relationship began. I met her online. It seems to be the only option these days. I haven't introduced her to many of my close friends yet. A few have met her. But we are still figuring one another out, how to respond to one another, how to make this work. Though I am optimistic, and it already feels comfortable. My favorite part, though, are those slow-moving mornings when my arm rests under the cool side of the pillow. Birds make bird sounds in the courtyard just beyond the windows, and she greets me with, "Good morning, Todd." And I like the way she enunciates my name and that she is there. So I turn in the bed to greet her as well. "Good morning, Alexa. What is the weather today?"